Hey, my name's Clay Gilmore,
And I'm Matt Beja.
and today we're going to be talking about Brazil's climate change. Climate change affects us all.
Whether we like it or not, our climate is rapidly changing and not necessarily for the better.
Brazil is the largest South American country and is home to the largest rainforest in the world.
Natural products contribute to almost 50% of Brazil's GDP.
Rainforests are incredibly good at taking in CO2, as the density of plant life is unparalleled, and they carry out photosynthesis year-long.
Deforestation is one of the greatest threats to our climate. Thankfully, Brazil has been trying to mitigate deforestation. The study published in the journal Science showed that Brazil was able to save more than 33,000 square miles of Amazon rainforest since 2004, while still being able to increase beef and soy production. Saving those forests amounted to a 70% decline in deforestation. According to a National Geographic, the cuts are more than 3 times bigger than the effect of taking all the cars in the U.S. off the road for one whole year.
Brazil, unlike any other country in the world, has actually had its GHG emissions decrease in recent years. This is due to efforts made by the Brazilian government to reduce deforestation and control greenhouse gas emissions. This graph below shows us the fruit of the Brazilian government's effort. Interestingly enough, there is a direct correlation between the amount of logging going on and the amount of gases being emitted. In the mid to late 90s through the mid 2000s, the forests were being depleted heavily.
Thanks to the Brazilian government's efforts to reduce tropical deforestation, Brazil has kept 3.2 billion tons of carbon dioxide out of the atmosphere since 2004. That's more than any other country has done to reduce climate change. In 2005, Brazil's GHG output was 379,280. Brazil's greenhouse gas emissions have fallen nearly 39% between 2005 and 2010.
Brazil is taking serious steps to try and reduce global warming. The PNMC became national policy through Lula's signing of Brazilian Law 12.187, which also establishes a national reduction target and discusses the process to move PNMC towards implementation. Most notably, Law 12.187 officially adopts Brazil's voluntary national greenhouse gas reduction target of between 36.1 and 38.9% of projected emissions by 2020. This in itself is a vital step for Brazil that many doubted possible. A year ago, we didn't have a climate plan or emissions goal, even though Brazil is the fifth or sixth largest emitter, said Carlos Mine, Brazil's Minister of Environment. This shows that Brazil is truly trying to take steps to reduce global warming and is trying to help the environment for the future. One thing that happens with climate change and the buildup of CO2 in the atmosphere is temperature change. And one big problem with this, especially in the Amazon, is it could lead to extinctions. According to this source, 38 to 45% of the plants in the Cerrado, central Brazilian savannas, are committed to extinction with temperature increase of 1.7 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels. This is a huge danger. Tons of species will die out. Computed groundwater recharge decreases dramatically by more than 70% in northeastern Brazil. This is from 1961 to 1990. Also, in the northeast Brazil, semi-arid and arid areas will suffer a decrease of water resources due to climate change. Semi-arid vegetation is likely to be replaced by arid land vegetation and tropical rainforests. And then many species extinctions are likely. So in the long term, we're going to lose a lot of species, and the rainforest might just stop existing.
I don't believe that Brazil is doing enough to help climate change. In 2014, they actually refused the UN's offer to help slow down deforestation more. These were for selfish reasons. They want to grow their production and land use, which is their greatest polluter. I think that they should be more conscious of how important rainforests are to the rest of the world, how much CO2 they take in, and how much of an impact they make on our everyday lives because they are a huge source of oxygen. Unlike deciduous forests in the U.S., these rainforests are active year-round and take in CO2 year-round, along with having a lot more density of plant life. The rainforest is the size of all of Western Europe.
In The Independent, David Usborne states, "The Amazon jungles are the lungs of the planet. It absorbs huge quantities of carbon dioxide, which is the main cause of global warming. And logging is the second biggest source of emissions."
Brazil seemed to be alone in their denial of this proposal because several other nations pledged to slow deforestation, notably Peru. The declaration is meant to form part of a pact for adoption next year.
Hey, I'm Clay Gilmore.
And I'm Matt Beja.
Thanks for listening.